Hey everyone, welcome back to the glitch server. Implode here, and look at this wonderful horse pasture. I said wonderful. I gotta stop. I said I'd stop. And I already messed up. But that's okay. Just checking on things here, making sure the horses aren't escaping. We had a problem with that. Forgot to account for diagonals here that were greater than 2 blocks, but things should be fine now. So that's not our biggest concern. Our biggest concern this episode is building something back at the castle. So I'm gonna make my way over there, fill you guys in with a few things I've done off camera. Nothing big, just a couple touch-ups to the castle back at my base. Not too many things have changed here in Spawn, aside from the stables that I built with Robin. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought that was a lot of fun. It turned out to be a lot of parts, more than I expected, but I thought it was good. I thought it was fun. So let's mosey on over through the portal here. And drink our speed potion. Whoa, here. Just because we're gonna have to do a little bit of walking. So, how have you guys been? In my life, nothing exciting has been happening. Whoa, lag. Anyway, today, actually, played a game for the first time with a bunch of people. We played Diplomacy. I don't know if any of you guys have played that, but man, is that taxing on the brain. Especially if you're not a people person, that is a very hard game. I mean, you could tell from the name itself, Diplomacy. I mean, that's what the game is all about. The game is all about talking. It's not about, well, I guess I should say first, it's kind of like a history, geography kind of war game, but not like Risk where you roll dice and there's some chance. There's no chance involved. It's all like chess. And you have to talk to people, create alliances, break those alliances, all that good stuff. It's really stressful. But anyway, as to what we did here, put in this, the carpet trick, it worked fine. As soon as I figured out you had to make it 2 blocks wide, which I changed over there because the golems are 2 blocks wide, so that one strip wasn't keeping them in. But this, it was just way too ugly, so for now, we're just fixing it like that. And then I extended this a little bit just because I wanted to see how these lights looked with this kind of straight design here. I like it. I think it looks good, so I wired all that up. I finished a little bit of the wall down here. That doesn't really mean much. I just put in some brick and cobble. It doesn't really look that great. Or, I mean, it looks fine, but it's nothing overly fancy, just simple. It's the bottom of a tunnel. It doesn't need to look overly fancy. But what we're working on isn't actually, well, I mean, yes, I consider it in my castle, but it's not in the immediate area. I found it a while ago, and it's been a project that I've been putting off, but I would like to finish it up now, or, get started / finish it up. Oh, wow, I put that water in the wrong place. Let's fix that. Okay, so it's down this extremely long tunnel. I didn't dig to it. I was out caving, found it, figured it was close enough to dig a tunnel to, so I can access it whenever I want. There's no reason to keep you guys in the dark. It's not really exciting or a surprise or anything. It's a skeleton spawner. I know there are already multiple spawners that people made into grinders on the server. Fazzy's made the two-it spawn, the spider grinder, and the skeleton grinder. And I know that Figgy is, Figgy/Hoodsie is making a, or has made, it might be finished already, skeleton grinder at his base. So I wanted to, try to make my own. Not because I need it, because like I said, there's some at base, or at spawn, but because I think it'd be fun to do so myself. Also, there are tons of, interesting, forgot some coal there. Also, there's tons of unexplored caves here. There's an abandoned mine shaft, which I haven't really given too much attention. As you can see here, I kind of got started when I found it. I was testing the spawn rates and everything. I decided to just go with a 9x9, even though technically you only need an 8x8 square, just for symmetry purposes. But we have these source water blocks here, So any skeletons that will spawn will fall into the water, swim over there. There's a source block in that corner, and in that corner down a block. So they get pushed to this right here. You can barely see. Hang on, let me get a better view over here for you. And right there, there's a sign. So, oh, well, I'm in it. So we're going down here. And you fall right here. So the skeletons are going to fall right here, in which they will be crushed. I'm using a crusher, which is, doesn't actually crush them, but it puts their head in a block, a not transparent block, so it suffocates them. And so that's how we're going to be not killing them, but getting down to one-hit kills. I did the math here and ran some tests. We're going to be using a hopper timer with, I think, 24 items in the hopper timer, I believe. Well, I'll double check to be sure, but that should take away just, should put the block in their heads just long enough for them to be one-hit kills. And yeah, that's it. It's a pretty simple redstone setup. I thought it was complicated at first. I thought it was complicated, but after playing around a bit, it was actually really easy. I just kept not remembering what I was doing. So I will set that up on camera and walk you guys through it. Hopefully that'll, I don't know, teach some of you guys something. I know it's not anything new. Many people have done this before. It's probably not even the most efficient way to do it, but it's the way I know how to do it in my head, because I just made it up on the spot, and so that's the way I'm gonna do it. And I'll show you guys. Maybe you'll get some ideas from this and create your own. So let me get some supplies here and we'll get started. Okay, I believe I'm ready. Hopefully I got it all down. There are 3 major components to this. It's pretty simple. Or, I mean, compared to other redstone things, it's pretty simple. But it still might be a little overcomplicated for something as simple as a timed crusher. But that's okay. It'll work fine, and I have unlimited space, so, I mean, not that it's not compact, but usually with crushers, people just use repeaters, but I'm going to use a hopper timer, which you'll see. But first, we have to set up the piston, which will go here. Simple. So basically, we want this to trigger, push the block here. Skeletons will be standing here. So we need this block to be here for a certain amount of time to get the skeletons down to 1 health or a half heart. Now to do that, we need this signal to last a certain time, like I said, which, like I said, we're going to be using a hopper timer. So I'm going to set one up right here, clear some space. There we go. And actually, kind of before that / during that, also need to set up a an AND gate, because the way I have this set up is so I'm gonna have it set up for a button, so that usually with hopper timers you have it set so the time goes one way, because items will move from one hopper to another. But I'm using it so it can go back and forth, and you don't have to wait for it to refill the other hopper. So it's not like a timed, and then you have to wait again. Like, you can do it in succession if you want really quickly or something, if it's going really fast. So to do that, I need an AND gate so that it'll check both hoppers instead of one to say if they both have items in them, which means it's during the switching process, which means it's during the timed process. It will turn on the piston. So I'm gonna set that up. Let's see. So an AND gate. Well, let's say the 2 hoppers are here. We need 1 comparator here. So I'm not gonna put down the hoppers right away. So 1 comparator that will check. You see, actually I might as well put these hoppers here. If there's not enough room, I'll move them. It should be fine. So a hopper timer, if you didn't know, is just 2 hoppers facing each other with a certain amount of items. You turn one on and off, or you turn both of them on and off due to a piston, or using a piston and a redstone block. And so the time will come from how long it takes for items to go from one hopper to the other. And then it'll switch and it'll go again as soon as you send it another signal. So for this really kind of contrived AND gate, we're gonna have that redstone comparator here, because I need them to check both, but I can't exactly have them right next to each other in this situation. We need redstone torches on top of these, and then we need to connect the signal, which we're gonna do like this. Don't want it to touch the hoppers because that will interfere. So we got this, and then of course it looks like I might actually be running out of room here, but that's alright, because I didn't run out of room, that's why. There we go. So if you give both of these signals, that will turn on. Here, I'll demonstrate really quick. So we got levers. Let's go like this. Or two signals. If we turn one on, bam, it doesn't do anything. This turns off, but this wire is still receiving power from that. Likewise, these hoppers are a pain to walk on. Likewise, if we just turn that one on. If we turn both of them on, then it'll send power to both of these blocks, which will turn off both of the redstone torches, which will turn off this and allow this redstone torch to be powered, which will push the block. So that's a simple AND gate. It's the kind of stuff you learn in, you know, logic, circuitry, kind of classes like that. Classes I haven't necessarily taken, but I've kind of know about it anyway through Minecraft and other things, I guess. Here we go. So comparators, when they're checking hoppers, they check to see if items are in them. So if we have items in this hopper, it'll turn this on, which will turn that off, which will turn, we'll turn that off. And if there are items in this, it'll turn this on, which will turn this off. If both of these are off, it'll turn this on. Sorry if it's kind of hard to follow, kind of going through it rather quickly here, but now we need the part that turns on and off these hoppers, which is just another piston, which I will put right here. And then what it pushes is going to be a redstone block, and that, whichever, well, I did that wrong. Whichever hopper the redstone block is next to will be turned off and will be the hopper in which the items are flowing to. So for right now, this should be extended, but it will be in the future. The items will be flowing from this hopper to this hopper, and that will set the time. And while the items are flowing, both of these will have items in them, which means both of these will be turned on, which means both of these will be turned off, which means this will turn on, which means it'll push the block while it's sending for a certain amount of time. So this block will be here for a specific amount of time. There we go. Now, there we go. That's pretty much it. Now you could, if that were just your hopper timer, that would be pretty much finished. Hopper timer there, hopper timer there. And you control, so if I go like that, these will be turned on for a certain amount of time until I flip it again. And then these will be turned on for a certain amount of time. So we could be done right here, and every time I want to crush the skeletons, I just flip the lever. And it'll crush them. Then next time I want to crush them, I flip the lever again. But since no matter which way I'm, you know, flipping it, it's doing the right thing, I figure might as well put in a T flip-flop and just make it a button. Just for aesthetics, you know, make the redstone a little bit more complicated. But then it looks a little cooler on the outside, in my opinion. And couldn't resist getting that iron. I always need iron. So T flip-flop. Basically what it does is it turns a button into a lever. When you push the button, it changes the signal from off to on. Push it again, changes the signal from on to off. Which is essentially what a lever does, and is essentially what we want to happen in this situation. So this T flip-flop might be outdated, but it's the one I know how to make. Pretty simple, always works. We have, I'm going to put it right here. We have a torch here. Bam. And then we have two blocks up here. I'm going to have to take out some of these. There we go. And we have more torches, which I need to make. Torch on either side. Redstone on top. Then we need 2 pistons. Oops. They don't have to be sticky pistons the way this is set up, but that'll work. 8. Something's not right here. Hang on.